Yadav. My question is, the Muslim brethren in India, why do they refrain from saying Vande Mataram? And what is the reason? I mean, Vande Mataram is a thing which symbolizes Indian nationalists and doesn't have a religious identity.
Sister Voida, yesterday you were there in the program?
No, sir.
Because this question was asked by another sister yesterday, but since you were not yesterday, I repeat my answer. The sister asked the question that why do Muslims refrain from saying Vande Mataram? Before I give the answer, why do Muslims refrain, I would give some advice that even the Hindus should refrain. Why? Because it goes against the scriptures. As I mentioned earlier, in the earlier answer, when our Sikh brother he asked the question, I gave you quotations from Upanishads, from Veda, that Almighty God should worship Him alone and no one else. He has got no images. Now, Vande Mataram is a song in which thrice it says that Vande Mataram, I bow down to my motherland. Now, in Hinduism, you worship only Almighty God and no one else. God is the creator of this country also. Fine? So it goes against your scriptures. And Hinduism is against idol worship. Hinduism says you bow down only to Almighty God and no one else. You worship Him alone, no one else. So besides Muslim, first I would like to say, it goes against the Hindu scriptures. You ask any Hindu scholar, if you ask a layman or a laywoman who's unaware of the Hindu scriptures, they may not know it goes against. Coming to nationality, I'll tell you afterwards. As far as Muslims are concerned, again this verse, Vande Mataram, it goes even against the Quran. Because in Islam, we worship only Almighty God and no one else. And this country, India, we Muslims, we love the country, we respect the country. We follow the laws of the country. As long as the law of the country do not go against the law of the Creator Almighty God, we have no objection in following any law of any country. But if the law of the country contradicts against the law of Almighty God, then we don't follow. So Almighty God is the creator of this country. So who should we bow to, the country or to Almighty God? As far as India is concerned, most of us Muslims, we love the country. We respect the country. If required for the truth, we are ready to die for the country. But we will not bow to the country. Why? Because it goes against the law of the Creator. Similarly, no Saudi should bow to Saudi Arabia also. Don't think this is only by Indian Muslims. In Saudi Arabia, a Saudi will never bow down to Saudi Arabia. In Pakistan, a Pakistani Muslim will never bow down to Pakistan. It is not a special law for India because Saudi Arabia is not superior than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pakistan, the name may be Pak, but it is not superior to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this law is the same. And the concept is that we too love the country. But if it contradicts, for example, in Islam, we consider after Allah and the Messenger, in this world, the person who we respect maximum is our mother. Our mother bore us in a womb for 9 months. We love her. We respect her. We are to die for her. But we can't bow down to her also. When I cannot bow down to my biological mother, where is the question of me to bow down to this land? Why? Because neither my biological mother, neither this land of mine is superior to the Creator. Furthermore, there are 12 lines in the Vande Mataram. 3 is Vande Mataram, which is against Quran and Hadith. Similarly, there are attributes given to Almighty God about Durga, about Lakshmi, about wealth, etc., which contradicts against the concept of Islam. So because it goes against, it is belittling God. So I will not belittle my Creator just for this country. But I love the country. That does not mean that I do not love the country. And this song was written by whom? It was written by Bankim Chakrabarty. For what? It was a political move. And now a few years back, they want to create a century and they don't even know the date when it is written down. It is more for political motives that the Indian politicians want to make a thing. But these Hindu Indian politicians don't know that they are going against their own Veda by making a political issue. Hope that answers the question.
Thank you, sir.
Next question would be from this mic, but before that, may I just mention a point? We have some sisters, what I realized in the mic, they come after some time. I would encourage